When I told her I was finally joining her gym to work out together, she said, "Do me a favor, act like you don't know me there. You're a little fat and it would embarrass me." I just nodded. But the next week when she walked into the gym and saw who I was training with, her smile vanished instantly. Let me start by saying I used to be an athlete, nothing professional, but in college, I was a competitive swimmer. My life was a cycle of training, discipline, and pushing my body to its limits. After graduation, I started a software company, and the long hours and high stress took their toll. The discipline I had in the pool didn't translate to the boardroom. Over the last 10 years, I gained weight. I'm not talking about a few extra pounds. I was significantly out of shape, and I knew it. It was a source of shame for me, a constant reminder that I had let a part of myself go. For the last 2 years, I've been dating Amanda. She is a fitness influencer. Her entire life is curated to project an image of health, wellness, and physical perfection. We live together in my house, a place I bought with the success of my company. The financial arrangement was clear. We split the bills, but I handled the mortgage myself. I thought we were a team. I supported her career even when I found it a bit shallow. I was the stable, successful guy in the background. I didn't realize my role was to be kept in the background permanently. Her gym is her temple. It's one of those high-end, trendy places that's more about being seen than actually working out. She spends hours there every day, mostly taking pictures and videos for her social media. I had been thinking about getting back in shape for a while, and I figured joining her gym would be a good way for us to spend more time together. Last week, I finally brought it up. We were in the kitchen and I was making dinner. "Hey," I said, "I was thinking of finally joining your gym. I need to get serious about my health, and I thought it would be cool if we could work out together sometimes." She stopped scrolling through her phone and looked at me. The expression on her face wasn't one of excitement or support. It was a look of pure, unadulterated panic. She put her phone down and walked over to me, adopting a tone you might use with a child who is about to do something embarrassing in public. "Babe," she said, her voice tripping with fake sweetness, "I love that you want to get healthy. That's great, but my gym it's kind of my office. It's where I build my brand." She took a deep breath. "So if you do join, you need to do me a favor. Act like you don't know me there. You're a little fat, and it would embarrass me." The words just hung in the air between us. "You're a little fat, and it would embarrass me." It wasn't just an insult. It was a complete and total repudiation of me as her partner. I was a liability to her brand, a shameful secret to be hidden. I didn't yell. I didn't get defensive. My mind, which has spent a decade building complex systems, just processed the data. This relationship was a failed project. The foundation was rotten. It was time to scrap it and build something new. I just looked at her, my face a complete blank, and then I nodded. "Okay," I said, my voice perfectly neutral. "I understand." She was so relieved that I wasn't making a scene that she completely missed the cold, dead finality in my eyes. She patted my arm and said, "Thank you for being so mature about this." She had no idea what was coming. She thought she was protecting her brand. She didn't realize she had just given me the motivation I needed to build a better one. Update 1. The day after Amanda handed me my official notice of irrelevance, I didn't go to her gym. Instead, I went to war. My battlefield was my laptop, and my weapons were logic and research. Amanda had made a critical error. She had insulted a man who solves problems for a living, and she had just become a very interesting problem. Her embarrassment wasn't just about my weight. It was about her brand. In her world, everything is about association. I was a bad association. So, my plan was simple. I was going to associate myself with someone who would make her head explode. Amanda has a rival, a woman named Valerie. Valerie is another fitness influencer in our city, but she's the real deal. She's a former professional athlete with actual certifications and a reputation for intense, no-nonsense training. While Amanda posts pictures of herself in cute gym outfits, Valerie posts videos of herself lifting insane amounts of weight. They have a history of passive-aggressive competition, and Amanda is deeply insecure about Valerie's authenticity. I spent the next 2 days doing a deep dive on Valerie. I analyzed her business model, her social media engagement, and her brand partnerships. I saw an opportunity. She was a business model. Her business wasn't scaling. She was trading her time for money, one client at a time. I drafted a business proposal. It was a 10-page document, complete with market analysis, revenue projections, and a detailed execution plan. Then I reached out to her, not as a potential client, but as a potential business partner. We met at a quiet coffee shop. I laid it all out. I told her my story, not the emotional parts, but the data points. I was a former competitive athlete who had let himself go. I had the drive, the discipline, and the financial resources to undergo a radical physical transformation. I would be her ultimate case study. The proposal was this. I would pay her double her highest personal training rate for a 3-month exclusive contract. She would be my dedicated trainer. In return, we would document every single step of my journey. The workouts, the diet, the struggles, the successes. We would hire a professional videographer and photographer to capture it all. We would use this content to build and launch a premium online fitness program called the Phoenix Project. I would handle the entire business side, the platform development, the marketing, the finances. She would provide the expertise. We would be 50-50 partners in the new venture. She was skeptical at first, but as I walked her through the numbers, the marketing plan, and the technical back end I could build, I saw her eyes light up. It was a chance for her to scale her brand beyond anything she could do on her own. And the story, a successful but out-of-shape guy using his own system to reclaim his health, was incredibly marketable. She looked at me, a slow smile spreading across her face. "And what about Amanda?" she asked. "Amanda is a data point that confirmed my hypothesis," I said. "This isn't about her. This is about building a successful business," Valerie laughed. "I'm in. When do we start?" We started the next day. We spent the rest of the week in planning sessions, hiring the video crew, and getting my initial fitness assessments done. It was brutal. I was weaker and slower than I had been in 15 years, but for the first time in a long time, I felt a spark of my old self returning. At home, I played the part of the defeated boyfriend. I told Amanda I had decided against joining her gym, that she was right, and that I would just try to eat better at home. She was so smugly satisfied with her victory that she didn't notice the new gym bag in my car, or the fact that I was suddenly leaving the house at 5 a.m. every morning. The following Monday was day one. We weren't training at her trendy, superficial gym. Valerie had a partnership with a hardcore, old-school weightlifting gym across town, a place with more squat racks than selfie mirrors. Our first session was scheduled for 5:30 a.m., but I had one more piece of the plan to put in place. I knew Amanda's schedule. She never went to the gym in the morning. She went at 10 a.m. when the lighting was best for her pictures. So on Monday morning, I sent a little gift to her gym. I had a specialty coffee truck park right outside from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with a sign that said, "Compliments of Valerie Stone Fitness, fueling real workouts." It was a petty, beautiful declaration of war, a shot across the bow, and it was designed to do one thing, make sure Amanda was already annoyed and off balance before she even walked through the door. The stage was set. All I had to do was show up and work. Update 2. The first week of the Phoenix Project was hell. Every muscle in my body screamed in protest. Valerie was a relentless, brilliant trainer. She pushed me to my absolute limit and then a little further. The video crew was there for every painful moment, capturing every grimace and every drop of sweat. It was humbling and exhausting. It was also the most alive I had felt in a decade. At home, Amanda was completely oblivious. She was so wrapped up in her own world that she didn't notice I was practically crawling into bed at 9 p.m. every night, or that our fridge was suddenly stocked with grilled chicken and broccoli instead of the wine and cheese she preferred. The coffee truck outside her gym was a massive success. I heard from a friend who was a member there that it was the talk of the gym. Amanda was furious, ranting to anyone who would listen about how unprofessional and aggressive Valerie was. The reveal was Monday, exactly 1 week after my training began. We had a plan. Valerie had a private training studio within the larger gym, a glass-walled room reserved for her high-profile clients. We made sure our 10 a.m. session was in that room. Amanda walked into the gym, right on time, dressed in a new, brightly colored outfit, ready for her daily photo shoot. I saw her the moment she came in. She was with her 2 best friends, a pair of women who made her look like a Rhodes Scholar. They made a beeline for their usual spot near the selfie mirror. As she was setting up her phone on a tripod, I saw her gaze drift across the gym floor. She scanned the room and then her eyes landed on the glass-walled studio. She froze. Inside that studio was her worst nightmare. It was me in the middle of a brutal set of deadlifts, my face red with exertion, and standing over me, coaching me, was Valerie. But we weren't alone. We were flanked by a professional 2-person camera crew with high-end cameras, lighting, and sound equipment. It didn't look like a personal training session. It looked like a commercial shoot. Amanda's smile vanished. Her phone, which was her entire world, was completely forgotten. She just stood there staring, her face a perfect mask of shock and confusion. She saw me, her embarrassing fat boyfriend, not hiding in a corner, but as the centerpiece of a professional production with her #1 rival. She started walking towards the studio, her friends trailing behind her like confused puppies. She came right up to the glass and just stared. I finished my set, dropped the weight with a loud clang, and looked up. I made eye contact with her through the glass. I didn't smile. I didn't smirk. I just gave her a small dismissive nod, the same one a person might give to a stranger. Then I turned back to Valerie to discuss my next set. The message was clear. You are irrelevant. She stood there for another minute, completely speechless. Then she turned and stormed out of the gym, her friends scrambling to follow her. The show was over. And the best part was, we had captured her entire reaction on camera. It was going to make for some excellent promotional material. Final update, the fallout from what I now refer to as the glass box incident was immediate and glorious. I came home that evening to a house filled with a tense, angry silence. Amanda was sitting on the couch, her arms crossed, waiting for me. What was that today? She demanded, her voice shaking with rage. What was what? I asked calmly, unpacking my gym bag. Don't play dumb with me. You at my gym with her and cameras. You did that to humiliate me. I stopped what I was doing and looked at her. No, Amanda, I did that for me. You told me to act like I don't know you at your gym because my presence would embarrass you. So I found a different gym and a trainer who wasn't embarrassed to be seen with me. In fact, she saw it as a business opportunity. This has nothing to do with you. The sheer cold logic of it left her sputtering. She had no argument. I had followed her instructions to the letter. The next day, the first promotional video for the Phoenix project dropped on Valerie's social media. It was a masterpiece. It started with a shot of me, looking tired and out of shape, talking about how I had lost my way. It then cut to intense, cinematic footage of my first week of training. It was raw, honest, and inspiring. It ended with the tagline, "Rebuilding from the inside out, the Phoenix project, coming soon." The video went viral in our local community. The story was compelling. Everyone loves a comeback story. My social media, which had been dormant for years, was suddenly flooded with friend requests and messages of support. Amanda's brand, meanwhile, took a massive hit. Her content, which was all about looking perfect, suddenly seemed shallow and fake compared to the authentic, gritty journey we were documenting. Her followers started leaving comments on her posts asking why she wasn't supporting her boyfriend. A few people who had been at the gym and seen her reaction started talking. The narrative was not in her favor. 2 weeks into my training, I sat her down. I told her that our relationship was over. I explained that her comment wasn't just an insult, it was a fundamental statement about her character. I told her that my life was now on a different path, one that required my full focus and resources. I handed her a formal, written 30-day notice to move out of my house. She was not on the deed and our financial agreement was informal. Legally, she had no standing. She cried, she yelled, she pleaded. She said she had made a mistake, that she was just stressed. I didn't engage. I just told her the decision was final. The next 3 months were a blur of hard work. I trained like a man possessed. The weight started to melt off. The muscle I had in college started to come back. But more importantly, my confidence and my sense of self returned. The Phoenix project became my singular focus. We launched the full online program at the end of my 3-month transformation. The results were undeniable. I had lost 60 pounds of fat and gained 20 pounds of muscle. I was in the best shape of my life. The launch was a massive success. We sold thousands of subscriptions in the first week. The business I had proposed in that coffee shop was now a real, thriving company. Amanda, as expected, did not handle things well. She had to move into a small, sad apartment with one of her friends. Her social media presence has become a ghost town. Her brand, which was built on a foundation of superficiality, couldn't survive a collision with reality. I saw her a few weeks ago. I was at the grocery store, buying ingredients for my weekly meal prep. She was in the frozen pizza aisle. She looked small and tired. She saw me, and for a moment, her eyes widened. She was looking at a man she didn't recognize. A man who was strong, confident, and happy. She just turned and walked away. I didn't feel anger or even satisfaction. I just felt a quiet sense of peace. She had looked at me and seen something to be embarrassed about. I had looked at myself and seen a project worth investing in. In the end, we both got what we wanted. She got to protect her brand from the embarrassment of being associated with me, and I got my life back. And that's a pretty good return on investment.